I'm Jenny-Jaymes and my sidekick, Christian Cano, partner in crime, is coming up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Jim's sidekick. Welcome to Two Queers in a Truck. Hi y'all.
See you soon.
Good morning, everybody. It is Two Queers in the Truck time.
Woohoo!
And oh wow, guess what, kids? It's December. It's
Christmas time.
December. And we got into Festivus month for the rest of us.
That's right.
Christmas for some folks, and some people look forward to New Year's if you imbibe of the alcohol, which I don't anymore. By this point in time, I'm 11 months sober, and I'll be 12 months at the end of December, so I'll be 1 year sober. And even if I don't look it, I look hungover, but I'm not. But anyway, we will get started. We're going to jump right into it with Christian and Jenny, and just wow, it's actually hard to believe that it's Christmas time, even though there is reminders everywhere. I mean, the Christmas music, the people, you see the decorations go up. We've passed Thanksgiving. It's a lot. This time of year is both enjoyable and I have existential dread. You know, it's one of the things. I think for queer folks, this is like running through a minefield naked. It's not a good idea sometimes because we lose so many family members, and you know, for y'all that are strained from your family, like I am, like I have a tenuous relationship with my dad at best. I don't speak to my mom, and I rarely talk about this, but holiday season for me is about my adopted family, the people that have embraced me in my life now, because truth is, my biological family's, my blood relatives, you know, blood's thicker than water. It sure thinned out fast. And when I came out, so you know, but it is what it is. You know, you celebrate the ones that want to celebrate with you. And the one thing I've learned coming out is that you have to embrace people that'll meet you where you're at in life, instead of people that throw expectations on you or try to force you into a certain box, because that's how we end up staying in the closet, is the societal pressure to not be gay, to not be trans, to live inauthentic lives. For what? So when we finally do break down and come out, they reject us anyway. You know, we end up the people, anybody that's big enough to be an asshole about you being authentic, you probably don't need them. That means they didn't really love you in the first place. Because if they love you on conditions, that's not love. Conditional love isn't love. Love is love. And loving love is, like in the wedding vows, it's kind, it's patient, it's accepting, it's understanding. That's all part of love. Love is caring, you know, is actually caring about somebody, which I know for some people is a novel concept. If you especially are on the red side or the conservative side and caring about something other than yourself. And you know, it's the older I get, the more I learn that lesson, you know, because I don't know. I look at somebody like Caitlyn Jenner, for example, that embraces her white privilege and still hangs on to her old male privilege at all costs, and poses with Trump and all Musk and all these people, and acts like they're not going to try to hurt her own community she claims to be a part of, and love so much, but is literally conspiring with the enemy, to me, is mind-boggling. Because why? You're going to be the first one if there was ever a camp. You're going to be the first one to go. They're not going to skip over you and say, well, you're the good trans person. That's so wild to me. We glorified history. Like, we want to believe that George Washington's African slaves were probably treated real well. He probably beat them more than the average slave owner, and they were still slave owners. Most of the founding fathers, the southern ones, were slave owners. They were shitbags. There were white people that owned black people. And we want to wax poetically when they gave them a place to live. Now they ripped them from the place they lived and forced them to live here, and they were perfectly fine over there. And I think a lot of times, because we still, in a very racist way, in a very problematic way, we look at Africa as this whole continent of third world countries, when many of those older cultures, like Egypt, for example, and I saw this Egyptian give this talk, this little quick reel talk on Instagram, and he was going, you guys are the third world country. The poorest person in Egypt will walk past somebody hungry, and they'll go find food for that person that's hungry. In your country, you purposely starve people. Who's the third world country? You guys don't love your neighbors as your fault. And that hit me so hard, because he said y'all's financial wealth is not real wealth, and because Egypt is a 7,000-8,000-year-old society, we know how to love our neighbors, and y'all don't. Y'all are a young country, and you're foolish. I didn't hear it just then when you came back, but yeah. So mark the end of that segment. It definitely, or leave it in. It's actually pretty funny.
Okay.
We're not as formal on this show as we are.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're all good. This one's definitely the bootleg show of the two. But yeah, I think bigotry has no place in any minority group or anything like that, nor should we consort with the people that choose to oppress us. I think it's just like the great Lawada Mayfield, a local celebrity and member of the city council, always says, no, not all skin folk are kinfolk, and not all queer folk are the same way. Like, they're not all kinfolk and or worse. And I saw this because I saw a TikTok early this morning that was reposted on Instagram. There was a different TikTok than I alluded to earlier, and it was interesting because they were talking. This gay man was talking about Caitlyn Jenner and how disgraceful it is, and how clownish Caitlyn Jenner really, really is, and how much of a betrayal you're seeing her suck up to Musk and Trump and all these people. Even now, when you should know better, after 9 years of Trump, you of all people, it's shocking, and how much she suffered at the hands of bigotry in her life, and what she went through with her wives, her life, how people rejected her, but she just keeps going to the trough of white conservatism. And it's really, really bizarre. It's kind of sad. It's kind of desperate. You're like that kid that's on the outside of a friend group being real thirsty and going, I really want to be liked by them. And they go, honey boo boo, they don't like you. You're just the stinky cat. Come over here with the stinky cats. You just don't belong with over there. And you can pine for it and you can wish for it. You can wish with one hand, but they're going to crap in the other. And we're going to see which one gets filled up first. And that's just the truth, is that some groups don't want you really to be in there, but they're going to let you think you're the good one. They're going to reel you in just like a fish, and and they're just going to go, just come on in. We landed another lost child of queerdom to their whiteness, to their fear of loss, to their fear of thinking, oh, if they really like me, I'll keep my money. And I'm like, no, you keep your money by keeping your money. But don't get it twisted. You live in California, which protects you. You're worth over $100 million. That protects you and insulates you and allows you to pay for any surgery and any medical treatment and all that. You live a privileged life. Just acknowledge that embracing the people that would take it away from you tomorrow if they could, just don't give a shit about you. And don't give a shit about the people in your community. And maybe that's why your community does not like you. Because they should. You're a 70-year-old gold medal winning hero to a lot of communities. And my childhood hero, I thought Bruce Jenner was just everything to me when I was a kid. And I think this is why it was so disappointing, is because I remember Kate's former self winning the gold medal. I remember being on the Wheaties box. I remember him being the all-American hero. And then when he first came out, he became more of a hero as he became she and fought through the bigotry. So I thought, oh, they're going to get it more than everybody. Nope. White privilege clawed that back and said, nope, thank you very much. I want you back. I want you back. And she would rather hang out with Joe Rogan and all the MAGA dipshits than the people that would embrace her. And it's wild to me that she wants to hang out with the leopards that eat each other's face off and do on a daily basis. And so the people that would hug her and embrace her and put her, she would have more privilege in the trans community and the LGBT community than she's ever going to have with them. She's at the bottom of the run over there. Just like Tim Scott, the gay black man from South Carolina that thinks he's on the inside circle, or Nimrata Haley, aka I'm trying to be a white girl, but I'm not because I got a year-round tan, Nikki Haley.
Or what's the guy that's going to be with Elon Musk and that, him and Elon Musk are going to do the federal government saving money.
Yeah.
I can't even pronounce his name. Yeah.
But look how quickly they discarded JD Vance. And he's on the white male inside. He said everything right. He's still they put him on the back burner so fast after the election that his head just almost spun off his hillbilly shoulders. But we'll be right back with some more two queers in the truck right after this important message. Hey everybody, you can catch us on your favorite audio podcast platform, Spotify, and all Apple Store, the Google machine, and whoever else does podcasts. We're on there. We broke in and we're staying. So enjoy the Two Queers in the Truck on your favorite audio podcast platform. Thanks for listening or watching. Bye. Happy Pride. We are back. And you know what's shocking? It's not shocking because the stupid people have betrayed their own people many, many, many times in history. Like, this is not, Julius Caesar at Tu Brute. It is, we're not, this isn't just, this has happened a lot in human history. But you would think with the technology and us to be able to understand this on some level, that we would literally be past this where you're going, maybe we shouldn't be having any bigotry in our society. Maybe the people that want to stand up and act like they're better than us, maybe we should shut that down when it begins, because it leads to this, and this. We've seen it play out in American history. Now, we see the signs. We saw it in 2015 and 2016. when the dumpster first rose to power in the Republican Party, it wasn't like we did not see it. We can't act like, oh, never ever thought this was going to happen. Okay. Delulu, Miss Delulu. Any woman or LGBT person or person of color that voted for Trump, you're going to get the government you deserve. Anything that happens to you that could be bad, I'm good with it happening to y'all. You're the worst. White women. Another woman in Texas died from complications of abortion that could have been saved had the doctors been able to intervene in time. She was a lost life. Happens to be another woman of color too. Every black male that voted for Trump, fuck you. Fuck you, dipshit. You killed her. You guaranteed that, especially brown and black women, are going to have a harder life now. Every woman with a uterus, you just put a target on her back. Good job. Way to go. Way to roll back the time machine. And just, I don't know. We tried this before. There's a reason why Roe versus Wade happened. It saved lives. It's like just like all the civil rights laws we passed in the 1960s. We just forgot that that's important. Human rights are important for a reason. That's why they're called human rights. That's why they're at the top of the Bill of Rights. Those are the top 10 ones. Almost everything in the top 10 has to do with human rights. But I guess we like to experience pain every once in a while. It's really wild. And there's a group of 24 states that are going to file an amicus brief banning transgender girls from sports. And they're trying, or actually, 24 states, but it's being led by Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall. Fuck you, Steve Marshall. And the other 23 states, which I'm sure that jackass in Texas is supporting. I'm surprised he's the one that wrote it. But they're trying to overturn an injunction placed on Arizona's ban on transgender athletes by the Ninth Circuit. Even though there's no evidence that transgender girls pose any threat to non-transgender girls in sports. And if you start transitioning that young, like at the set of the first puberty, there's no difference. You can't tell. Well, there is a difference. Suicide ideation goes down 70% and is set at the same as teenage girls that were born with ovaries. It does lower that, which the conservatives don't want that to happen. They want us to keep offing ourselves, keep unaliving ourselves. But they sure as shit don't want to do something common sense, which is the two transgender girls that play sports in North Carolina, for example, are such a threat to girls' sports because, 2 is a lot more than 1.5 million students. According to their math, there's probably 3 transgender girls in Texas. I don't even know if there's even a transgender girl in Alabama that plays sports. I don't even know if they have enough trans girls down there that actually will play sports, because that's the thing. When transgender girls are allowed to play sports, they still don't jump in for a lot of reasons. The awkwardness, the everything that comes with being an athlete. It's hard. You get a spotlight as somebody that was an elite athlete at one time. That spotlight sucks. As a kid and as an adult, it's not too bad. But I'll tell you what, as a teenager, an awkward, in the closet teenager, honestly, I sometimes really second thought being out on the stage. You get up like, oh, can they tell I'm gay? Can they tell I'm really a girl? Like anything that put you in the spotlight made you think about your queerness that you are in the closet 10 times more. When I went into debate contests, I'm like, oh, did I say that? real gaily? Did I sound a little extra homosexual? You know, am I thinking about my boyfriend too much? You know, there's this like, you know, did I put my hands on my hips the wrong way? You know, did I bend my wrist the wrong way? Did I put the hanky in the back pocket the wrong way? You know, like being a teenager is hard enough. It's awkward. It's horrible. Banning them from something, the few transgender kids and very few transgender girls. There's maybe 50 that play sports all across the nation out of 80 million kids. But yeah, we got to have a court case on it because, you know, Alabama and the other 23 mouth breather states, shithole states, want to ban it. It's really successful states like Texas, which is the bottom of child education, Wyoming, shithole state, South Dakota, absolute shithole state, the flyover state. Nobody wants to go to South Dakota. They got lower population in the county that Christian and I live in. We have more people in Mecklenburg County, a successful county in a successful city of Charlotte, top 15 in the United States, versus shithole South Dakota that has 800,000 or 900,000 people living in the whole fucking state. It's just prairie land and tumbleweeds and a couple dead president statues up on a cliff wall that should have been the heads of indigenous leaders instead. Like, who gives a fuck about South Dakota? If South Dakota fell into the earth tomorrow, we wouldn't notice. Come on, let's be real. Who the fuck wants to live in South? Nobody wakes up as a kid and goes, you know, my dream is to have the Dances with Wolves live, and I'm going to move to South Dakota and make it big. No, you leave South Dakota to follow your dreams.
Exactly.
As fast as you fucking can. You're gay or straight. You don't have some gay kid from one of the shithole cities or towns in South Dakota go, when I'm a star, I'm going to stay in South Dakota and be off Broadway. Mm-hmm. No, there is no off Broadway in South Dakota. Mm-hmm. There is barbed wires and cat. I don't know what they all do. I'm never spending time in South Dakota, nor do I intend to spending time in South Dakota. But yes, they hate trans kids there. Kentucky, of course, because River Tucky inbreeding, Louisiana, Mississippi, Kansas, Indiana, Iowa, of course, dumpster fire, Florida and Georgia, Alaska, what a shocker, Utah, you know, religious hellhole. Virginia is the only one joining the suit that's a little surprising. They must have a Republican AG. And that brings me to my final point. Elections matter. Obviously, Jeff Jackson elect, you know, inheriting the office from Josh Stein. What a bullet we dodged.
Can you imagine if Dan Bishop had won?
Oh.
Wow.
First of all,
yeah, we'd
be getting sued all the time.
That's true.
we would be
true.
Dollars and losing businesses left and right because of no technology company, because most technology companies are progressive, especially like Apple computers. And there would be like, ooh, no, you just elected crazy in the AG's office. Like we watched Texas burn. We put Apple computer put facilities here instead of Texas in the Triangle area, in the research area, because they saw where Texas was going. And they go, oh, we don't want our queer employees and employees of color and different nationalities and ethnicities and religion. Because Apple promotes diversity and inclusion. Because they go a more diverse workforce is more well-balanced and intelligent workforce, which is nothing that Republicans want. Because, you know, Republicans are mostly poor people that want to fear other poor people coming to this country. I'll repeat that. Republicans are a party of poor people and low education voters. The actual voter,
That's
not
true.
the people in control of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But they've been convinced by billionaires to hate other poor people that are poorer than them, that don't speak the language, and walk across thousands of miles of hostile country just to get her. This to be met with razor wire in the river, in the Rio Grande, and a bunch of assholes with guns. Welcome to America. Good luck. And that's mind-boggling that they would ever ban a 14-year-old trans girl from sports because she's no threat, or poor people to do the jobs we don't want to do ourselves because we would rather be playing video games, watching sports ball, living our lives. Like, again, I'll use the example that I just used about South Dakota. I've never heard anybody go, gosh, you know, my dream is to work in an orange orchard, not to own it. I want to pick the shit out of those trees. I want to pop those oranges. I love the smell of citrus in the morning. I really want to work so hard my knuckles bleed and my back hurts and I feel like I'm going to throw up half the time because I've had to work so hard in all kinds of weather conditions. Yes, that is my dream, to work there or in a chicken processing plant because I love the smell of decapitated chickens. Polo El Choco. But we'll be back with some more Two Queers in the Truck right after this.
Hey, thanks for watching Two Queers in the Truck. And Christian and I just blathering on about craziness in the world today. Y'all be safe out there. There is a lot of Republicans on the road.
That's right.
Have a good week out there.
Bye.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for watching us on Two Queers in a Truck. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime at your leisure on our video podcast platforms like Facebook and YouTube. But you can also listen to us, either this show or any of our past shows, on our audio podcast platforms like Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and all of the other ones. So once again, thank you for watching Two Queers in a Truck. I hope you enjoy our show.
Yes, the American dream has switched from being an astronaut, being an Olympic athlete, or a famous rock star, to working in the Tyson chicken plant or many of the orange orchards in South Texas or Florida or California. Yes, those are the dreams and hopes and aspirations of poor white America. Not. The chuckle folks that want to ban 15 million people here that are just working hard, that aren't getting any benefit. They're actually paying in the tax system. They don't get any benefit back. They don't get any access to Obamacare. They won't get any Social Security. They don't pay into the system. They won't, unless they become a citizen, then they get a Social Security number. They cannot benefit any way from our infrastructure because we made sure of that years ago. But they still work because it's still better than where they came from. They still send money back to the people that need it. They still get a chance to be sheltered. Bring me, you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry. You know, Statue of Liberty shit that I just seem to forget. Like, it's just like it didn't exist. I remember as a kid, and Christian, you remember this too, like all the different conjunction function and all that, where you have the Statue of Liberty just bending down and harboring people, and just that image of coming to America and just saying, that's the fucking American dream. That's what my grandparents on my dad's side, my dad's parents, that's what they did. They came here. They were the poor, tired, and hungry. They worked in the factories and the fields and did the cleaning and the custodial jobs and did all the back-breaking fucking jobs that immigrants do while learning the language and hoping that their kids embrace education, which my dad's brothers and sisters all had a minimum of a bachelor's degree and embraced the American dream at a scary time in the world during, World War II and post-World War II. And being German and Northern European immigrants when they maybe weren't necessarily that popular in this country. But it's wild that because the current majority of the immigrants are for sure brown, some of them are black, like the Haitians, the Dominicans, many of them are, you know. But it's just wild in this history, this time in history. We've always had a little anti-immigration hate, but it seems like it's being embraced by the dumbest of us. The people will be going, yeah, you're poor too. All right, let's go have a beer together. You know, there should be some commiseration. Social media has accelerated the disdain and divide to other poor people. I'm like, of all people to hate, poor people shouldn't be one of them. Like, they didn't do anything to you. They're just poor. And they bring you your food. They take it to the manufacturing plant or the processing plant or the agricultural plant, and it ends up in our grocery stores and our restaurants and our homes. We should be thanking an immigrant. We should find every immigrant we can and just hug the shit out of them and say, what do you need?
And you know, and Jenny, can I add something real quickly? Because you're so exactly right. It's a very short. I mean, I know you're preaching to the choir. All your viewers and listeners agree with this, but it's not logical. If you come from a family like you and I, where immigrants background and so forth and things like that, by having other people come into this country, it brings us all up. You know what I mean? And so to basically, if you think about it, kind of just like from a organizational perspective, let's say like an organization, like the company that you're starting and stuff like that, the people that are with your company right now cannot really move up unless other people come in and help them move up, because then they're always going to be on the bottom.
Yep.
So from a logical standpoint, you want other people to come in and do work and things like that, so that way you and your family can start to move up, not only economically, but just on a scale. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Now, Christian, you're applying a lot of logic to people that base all their decisions off emotion. That's the issue.
Yeah.
This is from the optics of they're going to get your cookie.
Yeah.
Coming to get your cookie, which we know that poor people, when they hit this country, they're just bending down and kissing the ground. They're so excited to be here because they escaped what they did. People don't walk and get on rickety ass rafts going across shark infested waters from Cuba to Florida, because what they're leaving was so wonderful. It's not like a fucking vacation or a sabbatical to Europe, and you're some kind of intellectual professor and you're going on this thing to study, society in Europe and go watch the opera. These fuckers aren't going to see the opera anytime soon. These people are dirt poor. And they're coming the dirt poor way. They can't pay even for their way. Like, they got to hoof it or float it over here.
Yeah.
Like the Vietnamese boat people of the 1970s when Saigon fell and South Vietnam fell. These people tried to float across the fucking ocean on bamboo rafts. And whatever they could cobble together, they literally got rescued by different people's navies and coast guards. They tried to float across the Pacific Ocean. That's how wonderful the place was. People don't do that. Can you imagine? Oh, Texas is so bad. I'm going to cobble together a shitty group of inner tubes and I'm going to go across the Gulf of Mexico and sludge through all the oil and jellyfish because, it's fun, right? And I'll float on to some kind of Caribbean island or something because, that's what the American dream is all about. And it would be just wonderful. It doesn't even take a leap of logic or intelligence to understand if people are walking most of us won't walk a block to go get up we drive a block. People DoorDash food from 2 blocks away. I've seen it.
For a cup of coffee.
For a cup of fucking coffee, they'll pay twice as much for the cup of coffee because they don't have to walk across the parking lot. Come on. We are not the same as these poor people coming to this country that are living in hovels and doing the worst of the jobs and the smelliest, stinkiest, dirty jobs, like the real dirty jobs, not the union jobs, not the, my dad's, I'm third generation union worker and I'm making $65 an hour while operating machinery. They're doing the knuckle busting jobs that we still need that technology won't do. The nasty, horrific things so we can go have, chicken Alfredo at the Olive Garden.
I was, you know what, Jenny, when I was picking up groceries, sorry to interrupt you again, but I was picking up groceries yesterday and I was sitting out waiting for the groceries to be delivered to the truck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking across there and there was about 6 women. I'm safe to say Hispanic women and this was like 9 a.m. and it was a little chilly and they were taking out the plants and putting petunias in for the winter plant, winter.
Yeah.
And they were sitting there on the ground and doing this and this. And I was thinking to myself, you know how hard it is just to bend over for like 30 seconds? And this is what they do for a living, that they are sitting there in the morning doing this. That's one of those jobs that we don't even think about. They're beautifying this grocery store, the landscaping, so to speak. And they were out there and they were and this is morning. And I'm thinking to myself, these are the type of jobs that some of us are not excited to do and won't do, but yet these are the type of jobs that
have to be
companies, done. Exactly. And we don't think about, someone has to put those plants in there.
Well, and just think about all the public restrooms and all these huge buildings that we have. Who cleans?
Oh, of course. Yeah,
exactly. Who scrubs the dirty piss and poop off these toilets? Who goes in there and changes the paper towel? There's people that get paid to do that. Janitorial services and cleaning services, and we act like all the jobs out there are glorious. They should go to Americans. I'm going, most of the Americans don't want to do those jobs. I can just tell you, every cleaning crew I've ever seen, they have maybe one shift leader that can speak some English. The rest of them are new arrivals. They haven't been here long. They're like, they smile and go, see, El Baño, El Clino, Pronto. Like there's not. These are the people that just came over and they're not doing glamorous jobs. They're doing thankless jobs that we just ignore, that we don't pay any attention to. And we act like those 15 million Americans are the ones, they're not doing that. They're taking some kind of Wall Street fucking job.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. They're threatening your job. You must have a shit job. But we can repeat this all we want. But when we take away from our labor pool, just like your example, it moves you up. You know what the opposite is of that? When you pull the 15 million up out of the country, all the poor, dumb white trash that voted for Trump said, I like him. He's plain spoken. He tells the truth. Bitch, you're going to be one doing the jobs. Or we're all going to be killing our own food. You can go get a chicken coop, Christian, and put it in your backyard and raise some chickens if you want to still eat chicken, or you're going to go vegan. But you better plant a good garden and make your own plant-based food. And that's what's wild, is that these people were the ones feeding us. Literally, we're literally biting the hand that feeds us, feeds America. Thank an immigrant today. If you know an immigrant or know an immigrant family, thank them. Because I guarantee you that most of them are not doing college professor jobs or working at Coopers and librarian in the accounting office are not your attorney either. They're doing the dirtiest, nastiest job so we don't have to. That's what the beauty of immigration is they get opportunity. We don't have the crisis of working hard. Hug an immigrant today. Ask them how we can help you as our neighbors. Love thy neighbor. That should be the theme of this crisis. Love thy neighbor. It's hard out there for a lot of people. I've got white passing privilege. I get away with a lot. There's a lot of people this Christmas that won't. And next year for sure. Pray for the families that lost loved ones to abortion law changes. That's who we should be hugging. That's who we should be embracing. Not some fucksicle in an orange spray tan suit that looks like a sack of rotting oranges and probably smells worse. Or some silver spoon South African trust fund baby that would just soon have every person of color working for slavery again. Because that's how his daddy got rich. That's how he shoved that big old greasy silver spoon into Elmo's mouth. Old sissy space ever. Fuck them. Fuck them all. Have a great holiday season. And thanks for listening as always. And we'll see you later. Bye, boo.
Bye, boo.
Hey, y'all. It's the crazy holiday season and festivus for the rest of us. Have fun out there. I don't know. Do something nice for an immigrant family. Do something special. Buy their kids some coats and school supplies. Do some of the things that you wouldn't normally do. Reach out to people. There's tons of churches that are immigrant, predominantly churches. Reach out to them and figure out how you can help immigrants today. They feed us. They clothe us. They do all the dirty jobs. Maybe it's time to pay it forward. Y'all have a great week. Thanks for listening as always.
Bye, bye, boo.
Bye.